All right, shalom, shalom. This brother Mawar coming to you again out in the highway and the byway, bringing out this gospel, this truth, this edification, to hopefully elect of Yahshua Israel, so-called blacks, Native Americans, Latinos, and Hispanics, to warn the two-thirds of our people of the judgment of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is placing on Great Babylon, America, this evil, wicked queendom where our oppressors rule in unrighteousness. And it's always a pleasure to let Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man, okay, man, women, children, whatsoever, know that the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, is going to destroy this place. And we're here to tell you that week in, week out, day in, day out. Before we get started, let's get all going on to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors and teachers, listen to the of great ones, so my advice about the truth. Thank you for the feeding the sheep with your brothers and sisters tuning in. Shalom. All right, another week, another day. In Great Babylon, America. This place is still standing. Okay, you see what's going on over there in the Strait of Hormuz. You know, they're basically prepping up for World War III. Gas prices high, commodity and goods, okay, scarce and also very high. Okay, you see the people complaining daily, you know, on these various platforms, talking about, you know, their living or their comfort level has been compromised because why? As the scripture said, it has a cruel Lord that's in place right now. Okay, and you people are not going to listen to that. You still want to listen to pulpit pastor talking his garbage. You know, collecting your damn money. Okay, you still putting faith, okay, into Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man. Because basically he's always come true for you some way, somehow. You know, he's throwing some crumbs in the ground, and you're just looking for that again. You know, just like a mingy, you know, mingy homeless dog, okay, with no owner. You're just seeking, okay, to get whatever you can get from this man, rather than turn to your power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and listen to the man that the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai set up. But see, none of you people want to be humble like that. All right. Now let's go into the scripture here, and I'm going to talk about it because I can tell you the one thing: the most irritating people, okay, is people that are close to you, so-called family members, and I'm starting from the top all the way down to your siblings. Okay, the most irritating people that still have their head in that in the scripture, John 3:16. Get a big giant picture of that cracker Jesus, Caesar Borgia on the wall. I mean, spiritually dead, and yet still these people trying to like get you to come around them. Why haven't we seen you in 2 decades? Why haven't we seen you? It's because we are not the same people. You're weak, and I don't want to be around spiritually dead people. I just don't. Let's go into the book of 2 Corinthians 14. Starting with verse 4, this is the book of 2 Corinthians 6, down to verse 14 reads, "Be ye not equally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship had righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion had light with darkness?" I'm in the light, okay? These people are in darkness, okay? Why in the hell would light mix with darkness, okay? They don't believe that the Messiah is a so-called black man, okay? They don't believe that the Most High, who they call God, is a so-called black man. They don't believe that the Hebrew Israelites. They rather believe that the Ethiopians are. They rather believe everybody else is something of a royalty except them. I want to be a Bahamian. I'm a Bahamian. Your culture, your heritage is Junkanoo. Okay? We Baptists, we Baptists or 7 Days Adventists or whatever the case is like that. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. I mean, if we didn't know in the scripture that you're going to have unbelievers, the Lord purposely have 2/3 of our people in a dead state, okay? It would be a very, I don't know, it really annoyed the shit out of you because you don't understand. Why would you not want the heavenly kingdom? Why would you not want your inheritance, okay? Which is going to be beyond our belief. Why would you just be content and satisfied with being a piece of shit nigger or spit? I don't get that shit, man. Because part of the belief in this is you have to believe that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai has chosen us as his special people. That we are the people, okay, that has been spoken about in the book of Deuteronomy 28. a judgment that we were receiving. There is no other tribe on this earth that fit that description, that has been in multiple slavery, that is in a state of confusion, that has been persecuted and oppressed all across the globe, especially here in Great Babylon, America, spiritual Sodom and Egypt. But you have these weak-ass, friggin' doggone so-called blacks, so-called Native Americans, and so-called Hispanic and Latinos, in particular the so-called blacks and Latinos and Hispanics, because you make up the majority. We don't really see too many Native Americans, you know, that is grafted into this society. Mainly it's doggone the so-called Negro that is grafted into this society. And nothing is worse than a weak-ass nigger, man. And the Lord gets something for y'all, man. It continually says, and what concord had a Mashiach Belial, and what part had he that believed with an infidel, and what agreement had the temple of power with idols? For ye are the temple of the living power, as power had said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their power, and they should be my people. First of all, you have to, you have to accept the fact that Yahweh Shema has chosen you. Okay? We accept the fact as men of the Lord that Yahweh chose us out of the world. You people ain't impressing us, man. We've been out there. We know what time it is, okay? You get brothers who are hustlers. You get brothers who have businesses, who still have businesses. You get brothers who worked in high-level, high-paying job, high six-figure job. Brothers have a house, a nice cars, and stuff like that. Not because you see us on the street, okay, telling you the good news. Hey, you're a Hebrew Israelite. You're the chosen people of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, and we're pointing out that these fucking faggots that has hung you from doggone trees. These are the bankers. That's the reason why you're poor as shit. Okay? We're telling you, they're going to serve you. They're going to serve you. They're going to be servants. Okay? And yes, there is a vengeance. And brothers put out the video. Okay? Vengeance is part of that righteous judgment. You don't want to see him get hurt. Two wrongs can't make a right. No, he was always wrong. We are always right. So when he gets the righteous judgment, that is right. The Lord is not an order of confusion. He says, wherefore come out from among them and be ye separate, said the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing that will receive you, and will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, said the Lord Almighty. When you go talk, I'm going to tell you right now, because I grew up in the Caribbean. And the most docile people you can come across, and I'm talking about the Bahamas in particular, y'all are the most docile people you could ever come across, man. I've now seen some people so docile, with the exception of the Northern Kingdom tribes, you know, who in that lost spirit, man. Docile, there's no fight, there's no anger. What does Scripture say here? Let's go on to that. I don't get it. Okay, let's go on to that. This is Ecclesiastes 7:7 reads, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyed the heart. Okay? Imagine you being around people. They learn about it in history book. They seen it in the movies, that this man, how he puts it out in his movies. You know, mocking us, teasing us, letting us know he conquered us. He even turned around and made the Planet of the Apes movies, which basically we are the apes, supposedly. Okay? And at some point in time, you know how they made the Planet of the Apes. But really that's them mocking us. Oppression. We are in a state of constant oppression. No matter what this man pans out, it's crumbs. It's nothing. I just put out a video the other day, I think it was on Friday. Know your worth, Jake. Okay, and it starts off at Jake's, you know, homeless, okay, wongabards on drugs and everything like that. And we know the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah is judging 2/3 of our people, putting them in that state. You know, you're walking around like a damn zombie. All right, you constantly have to walk to this man to get some soup. And if he can give you a plate of soup, and we saw this during the C-19 sham, where they were taking our homeless people, our people who was in a desperate state. Okay, and I panned the camera many times to it and spoke against it, and of course got my channel kicked off. Okay, you see, the wicked don't like to hear. Okay, that they're being observed. Watch, and what they're doing is wicked, and we don't accept it, and we are not going to stay quiet about it. But you want to play the food, you got to go take this injection. And you get our people so docile, so in love with their oppressor, they're willing to just forgive this. Oh, we don't care that we was on the ship. That was a long time ago. Oh, he took my wife. Okay, you get these crackers walking around here, freaking doggone waving this doggone Confederate flag. Okay, it doesn't matter that the men were getting doggone fuck up their ass. Okay. Your wives being raped, gang raped, your kids. Okay. Babies, our children being fed to alligator as early as the doggone 1960s. Right here, take a look at it. Hit the nigga baby. Come on. Where's the love in that? You seriously want to walk? You seriously want to just let these people slide? Go into the sunset. They're planning, as we speak right now, to kill your dumb, stupid ass. Okay, Jake? Let's go into Luke 12. Our job is simple. We get angry because we were once lost. Okay? And again, like I said in the scripture, surely oppression makes the wise man angry. Okay? And the gift destroy the heart. We're not looking for your handout, Esau. In the time of Jacob's trouble, great tribulation, when the Lord has already sealed the elect. Okay, and I probably will go into that today. But the book of Psalms tells us basically we can see a lot of death. Okay, but nothing's going to happen to us. People be dropping dead all over us. Yahushua made it very clear, my servants will eat. You will have more than enough to eat. But the rest of these people are going to be out there like bugging the hell out. You can't hide nothing from the Lord Yahweh Shai. You can pretend all you damn want. He knows exactly what you're thinking. He knows why you're mad. He knows why you don't want to integrate with a certain set of people if they're going to throw your spirit off. Because you hang around the wrong kind of people. Their demons jump on your ass. That weak, pacified fucking demon will jump on you, man. Okay? This is the book of Luke 12, sound verse 53 reads. Okay, let's start with verse 51. And some of us are living this. Okay, it says, Suppose ye that I came not to send to give peace on earth. I tell you, nay, but rather division. And that's why you have a division. Part of the household is going to be believers, others are not going to be. You might be the only one of your household that's a believer, especially as a male. Your sister, okay, or a female of your household, depends on the size of it, might be spared for childbearing or whatever the case is like that. Okay, and in some cases, a lot of time, motherfuckers are so old, they're like over 30 years old like that. We're like, your biological clock is ticking, so the Lord doesn't, I mean, you serve no purpose. You're just going to die here, man. Okay? It says, For from henceforth there should be 5 in one household divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. And this sounds very familiar. The father should be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother-in-law against the daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law. So basically we're in a time right now, you can't trust people that look and go, we are family. Forget that damn sister sledge song, we are family. There's an expectation that your wife, if you're a male, okay, one of the brothers them, okay, that's in this, that your wife, when the time comes for that is not willing to give up her soft life that you might have provided for her. Okay? She's not willing to give that up. When she's up against the fact that you can't have a bank account, you can't travel, you can't shop, you can't rent, you can't do a damn thing, you can't do a damn thing unless you go take that doggone mark. And they did that simulation, okay, with that doggone scandemic to see how people would react. Okay? Now they understand that there's going to be those who are not going to bow down no matter what. And Lord willing, it's none of us that are going to bow down. We take death before we take dishonor. Because if you bow down, you're dishonoring everything. It would have been no point in us putting these robes on and coming out here. It would have been a waste of time if we bow down. So we pray to Yahweh Shema Shai that He put that spirit to where we say, fuck it, man. And let your family go with it. This is why you can't have that damn emotional like feeling, oh my God, Nah. If they want to bow down to Esau after they've been warned about not bowing down, let them go. That ain't your problem. We're going to see them in the kingdom. They'll be in their right mind at that time. All right, it says, and he said also to the people, when you see a cloud rise to the west, straight away, you say, there cometh a shower, and so it is. And when you see the south wind blow, you say, there will be heat, and it comes to pass. You hypocrites, you can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that you do not discern the time? The reason why they don't want to discern the time, because see, when we come out, we're the bearer of doom and gloom to most people. But to the righteous, to the brothers, when I hear the apostles preach, when I hear the senior brothers preach, or the elder brothers preach, when I hear the other brothers preach, okay, when I hear brothers who just started preaching, 2-3 weeks ago, okay, I know that brother didn't just hear this like, a month or whatever case of that. That brother been listening for years probably. Get his notes together, and the Lord now say, okay, it's time for you to go out there, okay, and be part of the labor. I listen to it. Because why? I know that brother's discerning the times. I know the elders of discerning the time. I discern the time. And how did that happen? The Lord had to put the Spirit in me to go listen to men, okay, that are out there that don't look like anything. That don't look like the kind of people that I ran around in a circle with their multiple degrees and high-paying jobs and all the other stuff like that. No, man, that don't mean shit. In the time that we're in right now and the time that we're going into, it don't mean crap. It's all going to come to an end. What you were doesn't matter. Or what you think you is, it doesn't matter. Okay? So our people are hypocrites. Because see, their thing about it is say, as long as the white man says it's going to be okay, then they think it's going to be okay. But the cracker don't care about you, Jakes. Do you know out here in El Paso, 80% of the Latinos and Hispanic identify as doggone white? Yeah, there's a lot of them have darker shade than me, but you identify as white. I can't even fathom the retardedness of that. Okay? Here does this man have about 6 different internment camps right here in El Paso to put your dumb spick ass in, and you freaking don't think you white. Not to him, you're not. In your own little peanut brain mind, yeah, sure. Yeah, keep thinking that shit. Keep thinking that shit. So, y'all should I call them hypocrites? Because he's telling them, like, look, man, this is what the deal is and what's going to happen like that. And they're like, yeah, well, who are you? Okay? That's why they look at us and go, who are y'all? Y'all don't control the weather. Y'all don't control the media. Y'all don't have no Doppler radar to look at the weather and all that stuff like that. It's not about that, man. It's talking about the fact is that historically, when you look at Deuteronomy 28 and a whole lot of other scriptures, okay, what is it? Okay, precept by precept. How the hell do you think I learned how to read it? I learned it from the men, okay, who came out there decades before me, before I even found out I was Hebrew Israelite. This is about humility, man. And that's what 2/3 of our people don't have. And it's like, how the hell you don't have humility? Here it is, you don't have a pot of piss in. You walk by, you smell like doggone shit and piss and drink stinking piss, but you get the nerve to have a friggin' attitude? Here it is, you work some piss-and fucking job, living in some shitty fucking doggone abode, but you get a fucking attitude and you want to come up against the man of the Lord. That makes absolutely no sense. In fact, let me bring that out. This is a lot of people. People here. And you get a thing with in Aden. I think it was who was it that you had the. You had that dude that came out and was talking about their occult and Mason, the Mason and all the other things that's going on like that. And that's because bottom line is, what's the spirit in IUIC? They call on sweet loving Jesus. Okay, that's what they call Jesus. Their name has it. What is it? Israel United in Christ. So what is the spirit of that organization, or what is the spirit of those guys? They marching down the street there in their purple uniform, okay, being a nuisance. Every complaint about the Hebrew Israelite, it centers around them. It's them. They are bringing dishonor to the ministry. So would you men that join IUIC and walk around? Of course they're gonna punk your ass and shit like that. You gotta be one mentally weak ass motherfucker to go join that shit. And the Lord directed you there because He wants you to either go learn a lesson, and He probably will pull you out. And there are those guys inside there right now that are trapped that probably can't get out of there because, you know, they get all their information, all that stuff like that. Yeah, the war still is existing, so you're trying to bring, you know, ease the kind of negative attention that you want to bring to yourself and your family. So for now, they tolerate it. But at some point in time, that's not going to matter. When they get rid of this current system, it's not going to matter. It isn't going to matter at that stage. And I think at that stage, at that point in time, there's a possibility that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, you know, give these men some going in. But at the end of the day, you just got to say, fuck it, man. Don't worry about what people think about you. Stand your fucking ground. And even if you got to stand by yourself, stand your motherfucking ground. You're not on this earth to please any fucking man. And ain't no man can tell you, okay, that they got it all and that they fucking not gonna get your salvation. There's no man on this earth that has your salvation. Alright? So for you brothers in IUIC that think that they can go out there and go do it, if they put your shit out there, that's why you get a damn lawyer and you sue their ass and stuff. Know how to deal with the system too. Okay? They're not above the law either. And I'm quite sure Esau's got them, okay, signing papers that they don't read the fine print for. Why? Because they're niggas. Starting from the top guy. Niggas. Attention grabbing niggas. And they were set up because the mentality of our people is all about image. If you look like you got something, if you look powerful, where the fuck you get power from? Marching down the street in the hot sun, sweaty? Where's the power in that, nigga? Didn't they do that in the 60s? At least with Martin Luther King, there's actually results. There was actually some results from it. What results is there from you doggone dudes? Nothing. Pathetic, man. Man, if I was in the military, if I was still in the military, I would have requested to a 4-star, made their request at 4-star that I lead a battalion against their ass. Okay? That's how much I despise you punk ass fucking purple wearing motherfuckers, man. I would lead a battalion. I would lead a special platoon against y'all. Show y'all what fucking the military actually looks like. Okay? I digress. Alright, let's go into our second address, 16. Okay, let's talk about this damn freaking place. Because no, I don't think of America as someplace that's going to be around for the next 5 or 10 years. Every day I wake up, I look at it and I click on the MSN news or click on these other various news. Or I bring up the screen to the subscription to the brother sim. Look, I go, oh, wait a minute. There's probably somebody come up, something happened. I look at Dabu 7, like, what happened? What's going on? Okay? Is there a false flag they already bring up? How many people are going to get killed in this false flag? Okay? Or the other crap that they're going to do. And of course, we know false flag is judgment from the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai. Because everything this man is going to do to ruin the lives of the people here, that's a Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, bringing that. Why? Isaiah made it clear. Okay, he would set up a cruel Lord over the Egyptians. It's going to force these passive-aggressive doggone crackers who rather spend all their attention trying to be a Karen, you know, talking shit. Okay, and we've made it very clear to y'all. Okay, you crackers are too fucking poor right now to even be racist. You're doing worse than Jake's. And you don't know how to dig yourself out of it. So we already know at some point in time y'all just gonna just grab the sword and just start slaying each other. You get the neo-Nazis and those guys and KKK. They hate so-called blacks, Mexicans and Latins and Hispanics and Jews. Okay, which is Jewish people, and the Fags. Well, a lot of the Fags control a lot of the money here in this country. This place is known as spiritual Sodom and Egypt. So you doggone goons have a shitload of doggone firepower to go up against. But these Fags control the shit. Half of the military is freaking faggots, man. Okay? And you see videos with these Fags, they don't like y'all. Okay? And the Lord is going to set it up the way they're going to be out there actually fighting against you. They're going racist ass crackers on behalf of friggin' doggone so-called black people, okay? Because they're happy. Isn't that what gay is all about? Happy? All right, let's go to the second address. Let's go to the second address, 16. I like the book of second address because it talks about things that we talk about, which is basically what? The destruction of great Babylon, America, but the punishment. So it says, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia, woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack, and here bewail your children and be sorry for your destruction is at hand. Okay? The so-called Chinese, the so-called Arabs, okay, y'all are part of that slave trade. We already know that. Because we know that Esau, the Edomite, these are so-called white people, these crackers. We know that they were the leaders of it. But the Lord in no way is going to allow y'all to get away with it. Why the hell do you think in your Middle East, okay, Dubai, so-called great Dubai, and I went there before, okay, it was a pretty place. But the Lord is going to destroy that place. He's going to destroy that doggone Burj Khalifa, that really tall building. Lord willing, I might throw a picture of myself when I went there, you know. But, you know, that's here and there, and I don't like to bring out personal things, you know, because it ain't about me. But I've been out there in many of the countries out there in the so-called Middle East, okay, and they're clean, they look at they're in order, okay, but the Lord is going to judge them. Okay, why? They put his people, his favorite people, in captivity, selling us. So these doggone goods and these chinks. What the fuck y'all think is going to happen to y'all? Why the hell you think y'all die in the tens of thousands? Okay, that's the Lord bringing that judgment, and he's going to have this doggone devil, this white man, this red man, okay, judge y'all accordingly with this doggone military. That's why there's no peace on this earth. Who's the red horse? Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man. Red represent him, because he's red. All right, and red always means fight, okay, danger. And I know you might say, well, your robe is red. Yeah, exactly. It says, sword is sent unto you, and who may turn it back? Nobody can turn back the sword that the Lord Yahweh has. Okay, for you are the nations out there. But you, with Moabites, you proud, because y'all heavily focus your lifestyle and your ways of thinking on just the same way as the Edomites. This is the reason why Jake's over in this country, we experience, next to the so-called white man, the white people, we experience the highest level of hate and racism, okay, from the so-called Chinese. I can tell I've been poisoned many times going and eating in those restaurants, okay, back in the day. You know, the next thing you have, you know, severe diarrhea, all kinds of issues and stuff. And they conveniently set them up, okay, in Jake's little, you know, little town or little neck of the wood, predominantly ghetto, you know, economically challenged neighborhoods, and for them to go sell roadkill, rotten roadkill that is, okay, and fermented dog shit that they put on the doggone buffet's meat. All right, and that's okay. The Lord sees everything, and He's gonna learn you all a damn lesson. Okay, He's gonna learn you all a damn lesson, and I'm here to tell you, okay, as you see that video clip all the time with Stephen A. Smith, we don't care. We don't care. I don't. I'm going to speak for me. I don't care. When the Lord kill you in the tens of thousands, I don't give a shit about you. You deserve exactly what you get. When you friggin' doggone sand monkeys over there, you saying you desert monkeys over there in the Middle East, when the Lord put y'all ass to that, I don't care which country you're from, you deserve exactly what the hell you damn get. You're an enemy of Yasharala. It's just that simple. So the white man, you're doing a damn great job. Esau, Donald J. Trump, you are doing a great job bombing the fuck out of them motherfuckers over there. I don't like any of them. But we already know that's going to cause your destruction. Great. And that's how the Lord does it. Put two animals to fight. And y'all are animals. You Edomites are animals, and the rest of these tribes are all animals. That's why they've been described as dogs. We're the royalty of this earth. Okay? Let's go into 14 to 24. It says, behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backwards. Even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. Alright? So bottom line is once the plagues have started, it's not going to come back because why? This is the will of the Lord. Yahweh Shemah Shai. So I'm here for a second. It's the will of the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Continuing on, it says, see, that's all Jake Sim can do. Worthless ass motherfuckers. All they can do is drive around on low riders, blasting their damn music. They're all happy, you know, and this is why, you know, this is the thought of wearing out the saints, because this whole culture is designed to wear you out. Okay? Now, I got it. You know, we were younger too, and, you jam music and all that stuff like that. But still, it doesn't make it any less irritating to see the fact is that you have these kind of people. You know, they drive around, their wife beat a shirt, low rider, boom, 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 you know, thinking they're all tough and shit like that. And it's like, you can't fight, man. Get the fuck out of here. You don't know what warfare is all about. Okay? You don't know about ambush. Okay? You don't know about evasive action, escaping. You don't know how to, you don't know those things. You're not tough. Same motherfuckers will walk, drive around there like a phony ass motherfucker. Okay? But as soon as the doggone white man step up to him like that, piss his pants like piss their pants like the doggone little, like a little bunny rabbit. Okay? Continuing, it says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? What days are those? Those days are here right now. We're in those days right now. Okay? There's a delivery that needs to be happening. Now, this crackhead ain't going around and actually starting to slaughter jakes, you know, wholesale, meaning that he's going around and just killing hundreds of jakes or thousands of jakes right away. But think about it. If you're getting grabbed up in tornadoes in internment camp, that's a woe. Okay? If you can buy food, that's a woe. If you right now are looking at being thrown out of your damn house or abode or apartment, whatever it is you're living, that's a woe. If you happen to be living on the street right now and they already have laws in that particular state or in that city where they say, you know what, we don't want you homeless people on the sidewalk and stuff like that. We're going to clean it up and throw your ass out off of the street. That's a woe. Someone constantly harassing you and chasing you to do you harm. That is a woe. And we are having those woe right now. Okay, so it ain't just one doggone woe. It's a whole lot of it, and this is what the prophet here saw. This is what the prophet here was seeing. It was just one thing after the other. There was no rest. How do you get through it? Okay? It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. Notice he says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings. Again, right after what he said, the beginning of he says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. Because what happens with the famine? Great death comes with it. And I know it's unfathomable for anyone here in Great Babylon, America, to think that there's going to be a famine. And they're so used to the point of, well, if you don't have it, you go down to the soup kitchen. If you're a veteran, you can go down to the VA twice a week and get a bag of food. Seriously. As a veteran, I can go down to the VA, anyone in the VA, or go down to the VA out there in the West, in central El Paso, and get a bag of food every week. Whether I need it or not. Okay? This system is set up like that. So it's a system that's set up that you always have a cushion, a pause. Okay? But the Lord is going to move that. It's like, if you're suspended between, now, if any of you have gone through any type of like training where you have to do like walk on a rope or something like that, or you had to slide down a rope, you know, like this, you know, typically if you go like in, I think in basic training they kind of did it in basic training, you know, but let's say if you was to go like in more advanced training, you know, slide down the rope, but they would have a net underneath there just in case. It's training, so just in case you fall, you lose your grip, you have a net. So you are more likely to do it because you're going to get caught up in the net anyway. So the goal is to train you to be able to navigate that. Now, in reality, in a real world situation, you're not going to have a net underneath there. So if you fall and you're 45 feet up off the ground, that's going to be a heavy fall. That's going to be probably most likely fatal. Okay? So you might be more confident in the training session of it doing it compared to like in the real world, knowing the consequences is death. And this is what we're telling y'all right now. Esau has got y'all played into the point where if you know that there's a safety net there, you rely on him. He's that safety net of yours. The Lord is going to take that doggone net and you are going to splatter. You're going to splatter. Okay? In fact, okay, I don't have my pen, but Lord, when I keep that in mind, I'd like to go a little bit more into that as a lesson. Just to show you all the only reliable source of salvation or help that we have is Yahweh Bashim Yashai. None else. Not ourselves. Okay? And if I was going to depend on any man, it would be myself. Okay? There's not a man I know on this earth that I could say I could depend on. Not one. I don't know any man I could depend on. So it would be me if I was going to depend on a man on this earth. It would be me. Other than that, who I truly depend on is Yahweh Bashim Yashai. That is the only he or they, Yahweh by Yahweh Shai, are the only ones that can get us out of this mess. So when Ezra was saying, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Who do you think is going to deliver us in these days? Yahweh Shai. Okay? We go out on the highway and the byway, a car can knock you and kill you anytime. I'm on one of the busiest roads out here. Let me pan this camera and show you the heaviest, the kind of traffic that I get coming here. Okay? I got a lot of spectators that come around, they stop in the course and look, they haven't seen anything like this. But this is a very busy road. In the hour that I am here, there's probably about 2,000 cars that go by on both sides, going up and out. And if you know anything about doggone specs, okay, if they like to speed. It's 40 miles an hour on this road. Everybody's going like 60, 70 miles an hour. Going nowhere. So what happens if a car hit me? It's going to impale me, kill me. But do you think I sit down and worry about it? I don't. I don't worry about it. Why? Because we know that the angels are surrounding us while we do this ministry. So we got to believe that the Yahweh Shema Shai, okay, is going to protect us while we do the work. We can't do this work if we're not protected. Okay? So we are protected. We believe in it. And so nobody sits down and worry about it. I'm not saying I'm going to stand out in the middle of the road because we're not to put the Lord to the test either. But I think I'm at a safe spot. But we already know how things can play out. It says, but for all these things, they should not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. No, it says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as a scourge for amendment. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Why are they not going to be always mindful of scourges? The one thing that you get over here in America is that, well, we've been through this before. Yeah, you know, back in this is why they always like to mention the 2008 financial crash. Oh, let's go back to the 1929 financial crash. Let's go back to this year, blah, 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 and see if we made it through that. I mean, we came up bigger and better than ever. And then if you look around, okay, even if you're living on the streets, the cars driving by give you hope. You know when people are going to know all hope is gone? No cars are driving by. Maybe there's an EMP or there's no fuel. Dead bodies piled up. There's no electricity. So nighttime becomes an event. Okay? That a lot of people will wake up to more dead people. The people are going to wait till nighttime to use it. Okay, and the same thing with these creatures too. Keep in mind, one of the judgment is what? The beasts. Well, when do a lot of predators hunt? At night. And the Lord has created some new special ones that breathes fire, vapor, and all kinds of stuff. Okay? Which we know he had Esau experiment with these type of creatures in these laboratories. And he's going to release those doggone things when the time comes. And most likely it's going to happen when there's an outage that's weeks at a time. When there's no air conditioning, people getting irritated and they just getting hot, especially in these humid states. You know, just humidity killing you, man. Okay? And if it happens to be winter time, it's just going to be crazy. You know, your pipe is frozen, everything is just, you know, you're just irritated. And people are going to go and look for anybody that has any source of comfort, and they're going to take that comfort from them. Let's continue on. It says, behold, victuals shall go cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then should evil grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Because it's going to be in increments. Things are going to become in increments. And the Lord is doing the increments mainly for his people. Because if he was to do this at hardcore and take away and show no type of restraint, okay, and we are not protected, none of us can make it. None of us will make it through it. We can't. Even under the protection of the Lord Yahweh Shemashai said he's going to do what? He's going to cut off two parts and bring the other two, the 1/3 to the fire. Okay, meaning we're going to be tried. Second Ezra goes into that too, talking about they're going to take away all your goods, throw you out of your household, everything like that. Okay, and basically, then should be known by chosen, and they should be tried as gold. So, one element of obedience is what we're doing right now in the highway and the byway. But this is training. I can stand up here and talk. You can have the elder brothers them stand up and talk. You can have the elder apostles them stand up and talk. And they know a whole lot of, everybody knows scriptures and so edifying and all that stuff like that. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the real test, your rank of who you are is not going to matter if you can't pass that test. The Lord is going to pick and choose out from the top all the way to the bottom, brother, who's going to move forward. Doesn't matter how long you was out here. Doesn't matter how much scripture or precepts you know and break down, how much subscribers you have, how many likes you have, how many ass kisses you have. None of that's going to matter. Because when we are individually tested, okay, if you broke, it's because the Lord didn't choose you. And that includes that, and when I say you, I'm talking about me. Okay? The Lord didn't choose that individual. Okay? So, we have here, for many of them that dwell on the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So see that? Again, this is why he said, woe's me, because it just seemed like, okay, well I didn't starve, but now I got to constantly look out. You got to constantly plan. You got to take your binoculars out and look around and okay, who's trying to snipe me? Okay, this person walking up to me, looking for help. Are they going to take what I already have as soon as I show them what I got or hey, help them? They turn around and pull a gun and say, I want all your stuff. Okay? So we're going to be in a state of there's going to be a state of constant worry, stress. Okay, if people think they're fat right now, well, they're not going to get fat because they're going to be in famine and starving. But that cortisol level is going to rise up so much. Okay? Because there's going to be that constant stress. And when you're stressed out, your cortisol level rises up. You're not healthy. Okay? So imagine a place there that's filled with unhealthy people. You go around any part of America right now, and 8 out of every 10 adults you see, okay, and I'm talking from 18 onward, is significantly overweight. Basically type 1 obesity to morbidly obese. And especially the women. Okay? Finding a woman that's actually within height and weight standard is so hard. They're all morbidly obese. They're comfortable just being a glutton, eating, sitting on their nasty fat ass, and the only skill set they have is opening their stink rotten ass fucking leg, man. That's it. Just sit on their big fat ass, and because our men are so friggin' have such low self-esteem and no standard whatsoever, and would jump on top of any doggone thing, it doesn't give these women any incentive to go work your ass off. I like the apostle, what's his name? I can't remember. I can't remember. He was the one that was a boxer. that apostle. Because I don't see any videos. I don't see many videos of him or any. So every now and then I see him, at some brother's camp. But he said, when he talked with the women, he said you have to be feminine, fit, and some other things he said. Basically, he was saying, look, you women better come and bring it. Don't come all fat and nasty and stinky and smelly. No, you better come with an elegancy, okay, for the man of the Lord. And he basically was telling the brothers, I'm like, don't just settle for some garbage, man. Okay? And I agree with that. All right? But it says right here, and the dead should be cast out as dung, and there should be no man to comfort them, for the earth should be wasted, and the city should be cast out. Once the government falls, and the government will fall, okay, because this is how they're gonna, they like to talk about the phoenix, rising out of the ashes, okay. One way they're gonna have to get this new world order is they're gonna have to destroy the current one right now, and they're starting it, okay, at some point in time, okay, it's gonna collapse, which means the government is gonna collapse, which means there's gonna be chaos. If there's chaos, you're going to be, that's why it goes and it tells you, okay, a man should desire to go in the city and can't, okay? Cordon off, the buildings, they're compromised because they're going to be, these skyscrapers are going to be on fire. As people are going to be living in some of these skyscrapers, they're going to be smashing windows and taking over these office buildings, okay? Making them some type of headquarters or some type of a place there where they're going to be fighting off the government forces, okay? You got roving gangs all over the place. Houses burning down constantly. Okay? Stray dogs, animals all over the place there. Even pets are going to become wild. Because naturally they have that instinct in them. So they're going to try to survive too. You're not going to be able to walk up to the damn poodle and pat it on its head. It's going to be looking at you as a meal. And I don't believe a poodle can't eat you, man. Alright? A chihuahua, okay, in a desperate state, will bite your finger off and eat it. Dogs are going to go in packs, get together. And the Lord is the one that's going to be putting the spirit, okay, on these animals to go there and wreak vengeance, man. Birds coming and pecking out your doggone eyes, okay? People with true survival skills are not going to warn people that don't have any around them. You're dead weight, all right? Unless they plan on taking you with them and eating them, okay? And that reminded me of a movie I watched where they had this guy, he was a fat guy that helped, and it was in this prison out there in Russia. And this fat guy, these four guys decided they would escape. And they recruited this fat dude. And this fat dude, he was doing a lot of the work to help them escape, and he, of course, he's going to escape too. But they get out there, they manage to get out. And they get out in the wild, and it's supposed to be like snowy weather, okay, so nothing really around, okay. They get out there, and as it turned out, the only reason why they actually had him work with them to escape was because of how fat he was, and that they had intention of eating him. And so they bashed him across the head to go eat him, to go kill him, to go eat him. It was revealed that they took him with the intention of eating him because he was big enough for them to eat. So they killed him. Cut him up into pieces like that and was carrying him in the rock in a little sack, okay, across the tundra to barbecue his ass, okay, when they stopped, as it was being hunted by the prison guards, okay. So these people who have the special skill of survival, people are going to be in that mindset of every man for himself, okay, and they're not going to be looking to save your child. They're not going to be looking to save you because you're a woman, and you can't negotiate with your doggone coochie. Your coochie stinks. When was the last time you washed it? Yeah, boy wants that shit. So you women ain't gonna have no negotiating power. That's why we tell you that, okay, if you were the man of the Lord, you might survive. What is it, Isaiah 4:1? All right, and a lot of you don't want that. You can't comprehend that. Okay, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. There ain't gonna be no choice. And if you're giving shit, the Lord is gonna get rid of you. The Lord is gonna get rid of you. It's just that simple. There ain't gonna be no time for drama for the men of the Lord who are gonna be saved by the Lord. Yahweh Shema Shai. There ain't gonna be no time for drama. Like, oh, well, you can't have that. I'm your first. I'm your wife. You can't have. Not in that time. In this time, like, you know, the elder brother always say, you know what? Don't worry about getting the women right now. Just do the work and just focus on that. You don't need to worry about getting 5 or 6 women right now. You know, that time is gonna come when it comes. There ain't gonna be no drama. You ain't need to explain to your wife or whatever case like that. If she's not part of being saved, the Lord is gonna get rid of her before that anyway. So there ain't gonna be no doggone resistance to having other women for one man. There ain't gonna be no resistance. Okay, the women are gonna desire that more in numbers. Continue on, it says, and let's continue on. Let's go 32. It says, and the earth should be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel through. Okay, as much as y'all don't believe this, or some people might not, you've seen it in these movies like The Walking Dead, and just with any apocalyptic movie. Once cars stop driving on the road, believe it or not, underneath the streets, underneath the asphalt, okay, are basically trees, roots. Okay, so once the roads are not being driven on anymore, you're going to have the vegetation life is going to overwhelm, okay, the road system. So nobody's going to be able to drive. There ain't going to be no car running because there ain't going to be no damn petrol. And because of great debt, you think people are going to be going on there? There ain't going to be no fuel truck that's going to go and replenish the gas station. There ain't going to be no truck that's going to go and replenish the grocery stores. Okay, the grocery stores are going to be looted. It's going to be burned down. Okay, what did it say earlier? It says the bodies will be piled up like dung, meaning that nobody will bury them. Why? Because bottom line is nobody's going to be stepping out there. Nobody's going to care. Death is going to become so common, okay, that basically it's just going to be like, okay, those are dead bodies. Those are dead babies. Those are dead animals. Okay, it's just going to be a matter of, and then what comes with a lot of decaying dead bodies and stuff like that. You're going to have disease. Okay, and you're seeing this happening right now out there in Venezuela with that earthquake. They already found almost 4,000 dead bodies, and they say there's tens of thousands more, and it stinks. And the disease, the rotting flesh is going to get into the water system. Okay, you drink that, it looks clear, but then it poisons you. You can have people who are going to poison entire water reservoir. People are that wicked. Okay. So the water looks clear, you're desperate, you just run right there because you haven't drank water in days. And you drink, and it talks about how men are going to die from the bitter waters. Okay? Water that's poison, you know, toxic, maybe from nuclear waste, all kinds of things like that. Okay? So it's going to be incredibly difficult to survive. Okay? When you can't even get water because all the water is contaminated and poison. Never mind taking a bath. There ain't going to be no damn water for no bath. You know boy, you be taking no bath. So you imagine how stinking sweaty people are going to be. Okay, hairy. These women are going to be very hairy because they can't shave. They ain't no electricity. Razors. Using a razor in your body like that, if it cuts you, could introduce infections. Okay. So you're gonna have. So which means what? Basically, the roads are going to become like jungle. I estimate, or basically what I've read through geologists talk about the fact that if no cars and they don't maintain the streets of Great Babylon, America, within a matter of just 2 years, you won't be able to drive on the streets. None of the highways, nothing. In a matter of 2 years, nothing will be able, you can't drive on it. The trees will be overgrown. The roads, you see roots and literally trees grow up in the middle of the highway and go, where the hell did that come from? Okay? But because everything is being used right now, you're not seeing that. The reason why you don't have rodents and all kinds of crazy animals around your house is because you're constantly walking around, you have lights on, there's activities, there's cars going by. So they don't. And this was the same thing what happened in Yosemite Park during the lockdown. You know, 1 or 2 park keepers will go there, rangers will go there. And what they noticed was a lot of animals was coming out. Because the animals, they watch from the bushes. And they keep their distance. But once the animals start to realize that nobody's coming around, because they had the park closed for months, nobody's coming around. The animals start coming around and they start doing what they naturally do. They start mating. They were walking around in the open, unafraid, and stuff like that. Now that the park is open up back to normal, those animals have gone back. They were loose. They've gone back to hiding. So again, once there's no toiling, there's no landscaping done, there's no fixtures or anything like that, the animals are going to step out. Snakes are going to come out around because why? There's dirt and filth all over the damn place. People nasty bad habits, okay, of not being sanitary, okay, not practicing good hygiene, like washing their hands before they touch shit, is going to cause the death of many, and including themselves. So these are a lot of things you have to be thinking about, and the Lord Yahweh Shemashah is gonna some way, somehow, okay, we don't know, he's gonna put brothers with certain brothers, almost like a pride, or you can have a brother that's gonna have like X amount of women and children, like a pride, and he's gonna have the ability to protect them and have the ability, whatever the case is, that they're gonna, if you're part of the elect, you're gonna be provided for. Yeah, you might have some tough times and stuff like that with certain brothers, but you're going to be provided and protected. And that is the biggest thing there until the Mashiach returns. Because we're going to have to get out of this society, okay, before the Mashiach returns. When they bring out that MOTB, okay, that's a game changer right there, because we know World War III comes right after that. We know Yahushua returns in the middle of World War III. Okay? We know immediately after the days of the tribulation, Jacob's trouble, basically, okay, we know that the elect will be given a little rest, just basically protected, okay, while the judgment continues on. You'll see the signs in the heaven of the Mashiach return, okay? You can have so much uprising, so much upheaval on this earth, and then they look in the sky, and they can tell there's something off. It's not a comet. It's an armada of advanced spaceship beyond your comprehension. Okay, with a fighter ship so big, it overwhelms the earth. And that's how it's going to be. That's how it's going. That is how it's going to be. It says, the virgin shall mourn having no bridegrooms, the woman shall mourn having no husbands, their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. Why? Okay, you think they're sending troops over there right now in the Middle East. They're gonna keep them over there. They're gonna keep it over there. So there's gonna be a war. There's gonna be ongoing conflict, which is going to accumulate, okay, into that world war, okay, which comes after the MOTB is implemented, because these countries, it's just not gonna work out. It's not gonna work out. Be prepared. You will hear a nuclear explosion. You will see one on television. We are going to witness the true capabilities and powers of these atomic bomb. The earth is going to shake. Things are going to get stupid. And then, these signs that we hold up with the nuclear destruction of Great Babylon, America, it's going to start to make sense to these people. Okay? And you get it. Some of them are going to realize, going to look and go, well, maybe y'all are the ones, the reason why this is happening. That's why they're going to come in as a great flood. But they're going to come in as a great flood because the bottom line is that Esau is going to be able to get the 2/3, but he's going to wonder why the hell he can't get these certain Hebrew Israelites. And this is the reason why they're going to just send everything. Their drone, their robot dogs, the whole 9 yards. And we know the scripture said, the Lord is going to raise up a standard. And they can do that because they can say, well, these guys must have special powers or something. They can do whatever it takes to kind of to keep going, to stop what is about to take place. It says, in the wars, shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and husbands shall perish of famine. One of the biggest things that's going to get the American troops, okay, during World War III, okay, unlike other conflict, even the most recent one, right now, there's still the logistics. So right now, supply ships are not being sunk. Supply airplanes like the C-130, those are not being shot out the sky, okay? Because they're with a nation that hasn't had the capability, or they haven't really gotten to that level yet. But once China and Russia gets involved and these other nations get involved, what you're going to have, okay, is a supply chain of the United States military is going to be disrupted. You know how the United States was able to defeat Japan a little? Okay, if you read about World War II, okay, one of the things that they did, okay, was One, they cut off the supply chain. Okay, so they couldn't be replenished with food, water, or even ammunition. Okay, so a lot of the Japanese starved out. They starved to death. This is the reason why they started to go into the kamikaze. This is the reason why they started coming up with kamikaze, because they didn't have no bullets. So they would just take the plane full of fuel and just dive bomb into the American ships or wherever the Americans were, because they didn't have no bullets. They didn't have no bullets to fire. They had no more bombs or ammunition. They couldn't make it because all the supply chain was destroyed. Okay, the moral of the story is simply this: the Ammonites were never meant to be the superpower on this earth. The Moabites, so-called Chinese, are not meant to be the superpower. They're never going to be the next superpower, because they don't have the blessing. They don't have the fatness of the earth. So because they don't have the blessing and fatness of the earth, they can't be the superpower. That is only to the so-called white man. So to you white people, you so-called white people out there, you are currently the rulers of this earth. Okay? You're the rulers of this earth. Okay? The sword, the fatness of this earth was given to you. Okay? Starting with Amalek. Okay? The least of the flock that's really controlling the shit. I just showed you the poster earlier. Okay, with these people that are running the earth. Okay? The Rockefellers, the Bilderbergs, all the rest of them. Whatever their true name is, I don't know. But that's what they go under. That's pseudonym. The Lord gave it to them. And that was for a purpose. Okay? Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the one that followed afterward. We got next, and that's just all there is to it. So, I'm going to keep it right there for now. Okay? But I just wanted to bring that up because, again, our people, starting with the people that are closest to you, so-called relatives, okay, family, okay, and at the first order level, they're docile, they're sheepish, okay, and we're all sheep, got it. But they're docile, they're compliant and lazy, okay, and they have no fight or anger at all against the oppressor of our people. They're content, okay, at being at the bottom. They're willing to forgive the enemy, but they won't forgive their brother or their sister. Okay? And this is why the Lord is going to have a division. He's going to take out certain males and females out of a household to preserve, to live. Okay? Those are going to be the ones that's going to be preserved in that particular family. Alright? And the other ones are just going to be left, okay, to their own demise. Okay? And this is why the Lord Yahweh Shemashai told us what? Dust our feet off. There's no point in talking to an old bottle trying to convince, okay, people that are enveloped in ignorance, okay, with this Christianity horse shit and their church, okay. You get men. I get men in my family, okay. Starting with my father, going to church, listening to a damn woman preaching. And I say, how many times I got to bring it out that a woman should shut the fuck up, okay, and be quiet and just learn. But they're not hearing that. Content in their ways. What can I do? All right, and that's what you're gonna have. So this is why This is why you gotta understand they're a lost cause. Okay, we have a mission. Preach this gospel out to the world. This isn't just your family or relatives. And if they don't listen, you move on. You move on. Not everybody's going to see it. The gods of this earth has blinded them. And a lot of time our people have that cockiness and that confidence, and your words don't mean anything because why? I think they're living too comfortable. But if they're sketching some real hell, like the Lord take that comfort out of them, like their home, their house, in their old age, okay? And they don't have that church to go to be brainwashed and worshiping a friggin' doggone idol versus their power, Yahweh Shemel Shai. I think then at that time they would probably be more willing to listen. But at that stage, the message isn't going to be read from us anymore because the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai would have already sealed the elect, and now it's time for judgment. And it doesn't matter who it is, like that. So don't shed a damn tears for any member of your family. I don't give a fuck who it is. When the time comes and the Lord is judging their ass, okay? We care about the 130 elect of Yasharala. So Lord willing, the after the Father goes like all the way to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash, Shalom.